Smoke and sanity testing. Before starting the topic, there is one thing to note here is that it forms part of frequent questions that are asked during technical round of testing interviews. Therefore, it is very important, especially for beginners, to understand the concept of smoke and sanity testing. This is very interesting topic when we say smoke and sanity testing. In some organizations, smoke testing is referred to as is called as sanity testing, and vice versa in some other organizations. These terms are used interchangeably in different organizations. There are many things that are available on the internet regarding its definition, but most of them are confusing. In this tutorial, I will try to address that confusion, and I will use diagram to explain the concept of smoke and sanity testing, and will make concept of smoke testing and sanity testing clear to audience. Key differences between smoke and sanity testing can be learned with the help of diagram, which is shown here. Now in this diagram, you can clearly see that there are several builds such as build 1, build 2, and so on. And so the first thing we need to understand is that what is software build. Let us understand it with the help of an example. Let us understand simple example. Suppose you are developing one computer program on your local machine, then you just need to compile it and produce an executable file, which is simple process. But when we talk in terms of software application, which contains thousands and thousands of lines of software codes and hundreds of files, which makes it very difficult to compile and create an executable file from that number of source code, making it very complicated and time consuming. But after that software is developed and is converted to a single executable program file, then it is called software build. So let us first understand it with the help of another example in a simple way. Whenever start feeling developers start making software, he or she is required to write program codes. And when some features are developed, they create an executable program file, which are in development environment. At that time, developers, after doing some basic testing, deploy the same executable program in testing environment. Basic testing is done by developers before deploying their executable program testing environment. Before deploying their executable programming in testing environment is called smoke testing. It is type of basic testing done in order to ensure that the program executable files can be subjected to further testing. So that we can say that software build is program executable file which contains various features to be tested when deployed from development environment to testing environment and later on to production environment. So now let us understand the concept of smoke testing in little more detailed way. It may be defined as software testing techniques after software is developed, and the purpose of this type of testing is to verify critical functionalities of application in short time. It is mainly done to have overview of what has been developed and can be subjected to detailed functional and regression testing. What happened in practical scenario is that if a smoke testing is not done and software release is given to testing team for detailed testing, and if testing team finds that basic functionalities of applications are not running and software build cannot be subjected to detailed testing, then it is not a good situation for anyone in the team because it leads to wastage of time for both development team and testing team. Besides, there is wastage of effort from development team to deploy application in the testing environment without doing any kind of testing, and also of the testing team who gives times and effort to prepare for this type of testing and finds that there is nothing to test and basic functionalities of application are not working. So in short, we can say that main purpose of smoke testing is to reject software application built if any defect is found during the smoke testing itself, so that QA team does not need to waste any time with defected application. In this type of testing, main focus is to test most important functionalities of application, and main objective of this type of testing is not to perform exhaustive testing but to check whether critical functionality of the applications are working fine, so that whole software build can be delivered to team for detailed testing. Example of a smoke testing may be verification of application launch, graphical user interfaces are responding properly, user is able to log into the system successfully. So these are small tests that are done as part of smoke testing. Now let us understand what is sanity testing. Sanity testing is type of testing that is done by QA teams so that it can be decided that software build can be subjected to detailed testing or not. Because in sanity testing only some basic checks are done in order to ensure that software builds by that has been developed and provided by development team can be subjected to detailed testing. It not only saves the time of development team but also saves time of QA team. Now, if QA team finds that basic functionalities of applications are not working in sanity testing, then that software build is rejected so that time and effort could be saved for the team. Some of the points to be noted here is that while doing sanity and smoke testing are given as below. And some of the points to be noted while doing sanity and smoke testing are as following. Purpose of both sanity and smoke testing is to prevent wastage of time and to determine whether software build can be subjected to detailed testing or not, and that too within least possible time. Smoke testing may also be called as tester acceptance testing. Smoke testing performed on a particular build is also called build verification test. What is recommended as best industry practice is to conduct smoke testing daily. One more thing that should be noted here is that both smoke and sanity testing can be executed manually or using automation tool. In some situation, automation tool is of great help because testing some functionality again and again can be done with automation tool with less effort because frequency of testing is more and we will just need to prepare automation script once. Now, we have clearly understood that both sanity and smoke testing are important when it comes to testing of new software build. It can be considered as best practices in order to save time, effort, and cost to organization. Thank you.